mentioned that you're investigating, but it just seems to end at investigations. I'll come back to you on that. Honorable Isaac Mwaura, your thoughts on the political temperature right now and some statements that have been made so far. We'll maybe refer to some of them as we go along, but whether you feel that politicians generally are holding the pulse of this nation as they make those statements.
I think, Mike, we have seen incitement on the issue of land from ODM party leader.
And by this, are you referring to the statements he made in...
like Laikipia and Kajiado. And you can obviously even see the protests in what we've just seen on TV. And I was even informed yesterday that there are tensions in Kajiado. And I think that is why you could see Isaac Ruto trying to mollify the situation. But already, even leaflets were circulating, saying people should be evicted. And this is being done to consolidate the Maasai vote, which is totally unacceptable. Because, you know, Mike, when people start speaking about historical injustices in a manner as to suggest, for example, that when as an individual goes and buys land in a free economy, free willing buyer, willing seller, that individual should be going back to the ancestral land. And of course, you ask yourself the question, what is this ancestral land? Are we talking about the Bantus coming from the Congo forest or the Nilos from Sudan? You know, we need to be very careful because such, you know, attachments are only whipped up emotionally around elections only to attain a certain a tantalizing ambition, in my opinion, just to make sure that people feel they have a sense of belonging to the land. And so, therefore, you would even see clearly in the case of Kajiado, it was incitement of the old, of the young against the old. So personally, I'm very concerned. I think this is not the first, you know, account where we've seen people declaring, you know, setting the mood for violence and violent confrontation. I think this is something that needs to be condemned. Obviously, of course, you saw a lot of that around the party primaries. Now that we have candidates, you see the IEBC summoning individuals.
And from your opinion, you've mentioned the opposition leader Raila Odinga's statements, but would you say that within Jubilee there has been irresponsible utterances? Because one of the issues we have, we sling mud at each other, but the truth of the matter is sometimes we are all, you know, embroiled in it.
I think apart from some time when some few politicians, our colleagues in Parliament, were arrested, the most recent remarks that for me that are very clear in my mind are in relation to the land issue, which is very emotive. Remember, Mike, we went to fight for independence because of the land issue. It's a very emotive issue.
Okay.
And so therefore, for me, I squarely put the blame on the ODM side of the political divide. Honorable
Millie Odhiambo, your comments to that, your rebuttal to Isaac.
Well, what I would tell you is the comments by my colleague Isaac, very unfortunate. And I would tell you because ODM has been known as the party, the most cohesive party and ethnically cohesive. I want us to distinguish the element of ethnicity and the issue of irresponsible statements, which are not really harboring on ethnicity. And using him as an example, he's a Kikuyu, I think, by birth. And when he came to ODM, we were clear that he's a Kikuyu. And he was not elected, he was nominated. And it's not the first, neither the last Kikuyu that will get a position. So really, I think the people who are whipping up ethnic emotion is their side.
But don't
because
you feel
what Raila said, it's not simplistic.
Because in Jubilee you also have Luos. I mean, if we're going to go that avenue.
No, I am saying it in relation to what he said.
Okay.
And I am telling him that he cannot use us and say that ODM has been, you know, that we are funding tribal sentiments. And I'm telling him his testimony in terms of what we stand for as a party. But having said that, I am also telling him that they do not need to twist around what Raila Odinga said. When Raila spoke, he did not speak to the Maasai. He didn't say, you Maasai. He spoke knowing that in Kajiado, There are Kikuyus who stay there, there are Maasais who stay there, there are Kisis who stay there, there are Luos who stay there. So he actually just advised them on issues of land. And why would then some community think, without them being mentioned, that they're being targeted? What I can tell you is that Jubilee had lost the mojo. They had no clue where to start. They jumped on ICC. It was not working. Now they are jumping on land to make sure that they try and gain their people or get people around an issue, because there was going to be apathy. And I can tell you, even when you look at the people that he's saying are demonstrating, I'm very observant as a lawyer. They're wearing, one of them at the back, look at that picture. He's wearing a T-shirt of Jubilee. So that was a Jubilee gathering condemning ODM. That was not a people who are concerned. Those are Jubilee people condemning. Because if they were genuine, then we should have seen them demonstrating against Mandago on very inflammatory issues. And if you are talking about talking irresponsibly, the president has been the master par excellence on speaking irresponsibly.
In what sense? Or
in what the president has been abusing people left, right, and center. Are you the only stranger in Jerusalem? He's been abusing
but
people.
You see, it's good to state, to whatever you mentioned, it's good to state and give facts, because you can't just...
Yes, I am going to give you facts. President has been abusing Joho, speaking very responsibly as a leader who should be cohesive.
Abusing the president.
Yes, I'm following him. If the president leads, I follow. It does not make a right.
So
but
does
if
that
it
does, you, does that put you in a better position than the president?
No,
why
it does. It does not put me. It does not put me in a better. It does not put me in a better position. But what I'm telling you, if the president is leading by bad example, he is likely to get people following